Now, Aero-News, of course, reaches an aviation and aerospace community right from the get-go. So the first questions from our community are, what kind of materials are being used, the technology involved in the engines. Can we get a little bit of background on how these rockets are being constructed these days?
Probably if any of the members of your association are familiar with rocketry from the old Estes kits of long ago, a lot of this stuff is very similar to what they've done in the past. You know, cardboard tubes, balsa fins. You know, you could do this fairly unsophisticated. Now, there's some really sophisticated components along with this. Kids all have an altimeter in the rocket that measures the height above the ground that the rocket's going, and that's how we measure that exact distance. But then you do have some fairly sophisticated things too. You could get into some fiberglass and composite components. This year, the streamer and how that's done, a lot of kids are using Mylar material as a streamer, and they're putting folds into it. So it's sort of a mixture of high-tech and low-tech stuff that you're seeing out there.
How long have you been involved in this?
I've been involved with the competition for all 8 years that they've had it out here at Great Meadow.
What have you seen happen in that period of time? How has the competition grown?
It's grown a lot, and to be quite honest, it's grown on both sides. The kids have really learned to anticipate this, and we've got schools and groups of kids that are passing this knowledge base down from one class year to another. We have a couple schools that have been here all 8 years. So they're learning a lot, and they're passing it on, which we think is a very beneficial aspect of this. We, as the organizers, are also learning a lot. The first year we tried this, we used a 2-stage rocket, and we're using 2 eggs, and there were lots of cluster ignitions and sort of lots of moving parts. And after going through it for the first year, we thought, well, that's way too many moving pieces for us to dodge when something goes wrong. But so we've learned a lot and refined things as well.
If you own a Cirrus today, or if you are considering the purchase of a new or used aircraft, consider this. Avidyne, in conjunction with the country's leading Cirrus sales and maintenance facilities, has launched the G3R9 program that combines the purchase of a late-model, low-time Cirrus aircraft and the addition of the Avidyne Integra Release 9 avionics suite for much less than you may have thought, and certainly much less than purchasing a brand new aircraft. G3R9, combining the best airframe, best engine, and best avionics for the best value.
What are some of the high points for you that you've experienced over those 8 years? Any particular moments that just really stand out as far as your involvement with TARC?
There's been actually several interesting things that have happened over the course of the time that we've been doing this. Some of the neat things that I've seen. One year there was a group of students that actually gave up their graduation ceremony to come up here and launch rockets and be a part of the Team America Rocketry competition. They came up here with cap and gown in tow, and we actually had them at the awards ceremony with their caps and gowns on, and they made a phone call and were a part of their graduation. So things like that. You'll see a lot of kids out here with different uniforms and costumes on, and just sort of playing it up from that aspect of it. From my perspective, one of the most interesting things is just pulling off this whole competition. And we get up at dark 30, 6 o'clock in the morning. You come out here, there's light fog over the field. And at the end of the day, we've flown over 100 rockets and had several thousand people here run through all the different exhibits and things and given away $60,000+ in prizes to the kids. And having all that accomplished in a single day is pretty awesome.
To the students at a high school who may not have a program yet that could eventually field the team to go to TARC, what advice would you give, and how to get involved? Where can they find information? Obviously, I would assume NAR is a very good source for initial information as well as AIA, but how would somebody get involved who takes a look at this and goes, man, I got to do this?
Like you said, certainly through the National Association of Rocketry would be an awesome place to start. I mean, we have members throughout the U.S. and members who are willing to work with kids. This is really something that's gelled our membership. I've not seen anything like it in terms of really mobilizing the members around one single issue. And if you talk to a lot of the helpers from the NAR over the next couple days, you'll see that they're energized and just happy to be here with the kids. AIA's got a lot of resources available through them, and even NASA has some student teaching programs that they support in their educational aspect of NASA. Another one that people often don't think of is 4-H. 4-H has a rocketry program as well, and 4-H is in pretty much every county in the U.S., and through them, they've got a fairly phenomenal rocketry program, and they're a partner with the National Association, so we're sharing information back and forth.
Freedom through innovation. It's what led us to develop Cirrus Flying 2.0, the framework for a bold new take on private aviation. And as a result, the gap between the aircraft we produce and those of our competitors continues to widen. Cirrus knows where the personal aircraft industry is headed. We're already there.
How important are events, or is an event like TARC to the rest of the industry?
We think it's very important, and we, the industry being the rocketry industry, certainly, we think it's a way to get youth interested in the hobby, as well as getting youth interested in science, technology, different parts of aviation. Just getting me interested in any aspect of higher education, I think, is a very worthwhile endeavor. There may be a part of the team that's in charge of fundraising to get the team to be able to participate in the event. We got a group of kids coming from the Virgin Islands, and mobilizing that force to get them up here. So whoever the business manager associated with that group, I hope they're going on to business school, and I'd be looking for them in my line of business.
Are you seeing, you're here for a better part of 2 days and watching kids who are already somewhat inspired, but do you see a difference by the time this is done when they've competed on a national level? Is there a true sense of inspiration and possibly enough to make a definite change in a student's career path? Oh,
by all means. And we're starting to collect data on the students and where they're going, and there's a lot of students now that are going on to aerospace as a career path. Another thing that we're seeing is just still in the high school system, there's different rocketry programs now that the students are picking up. There's a student launch initiative that NASA puts on that has a much higher degree of sophistication. That's the Team America competition has been an awesome stepping stone for them, and the National Association is partnering with them as well. And so there's activities like that, just the level of enthusiasm that the kids bring to this is just amazing.
Well, I have to admit, being very impressed with what I've seen so far, and of course we haven't seen anything yet. John, thanks so much for your contribution to the future rocket scientists of America, and for taking time for Aero-News.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.